Welcome to the Free Idea Podcast. Back on it, back on me. It's your host, Mario. So today I've been thinking about AI. Big surprise. Big surprise. I was watching some news on it, and I've been watching a lot of memes. And lately, all these AI videos are getting really good to the point that they're becoming hard to recognize as AI until the video does something extremely ridiculous. For example, I've been watching some AIs that there was one that was like the leader of Iran, right? So for most American people, we don't know, including me, where the hell that is in the map or who is who, not even what language they speak or how they look. Absolutely nothing other than names, no matter how much is in the news. Like 99% of people don't even know, being honest about it. So this video was of the president or leader. Like, look, I even don't know if they have presidents or what is going on over there. But they had this guy in a turban, who I imagine is the leader, and he's speaking in English with an accent, and he's saying something that starts to make sense, and then all of a sudden starts not making sense because he starts joking. Uh, and that's where I caught it. I'm like, oh, wait a minute, this is AI. Dang. Yeah, it's easy to tell AI when it's somebody famous that it's all over the place that you've grown up with. Like Trump, we've known him for about 8 years, and some people even more. And it's easy to catch when that's AI because you kind of know how his voice and tone is and mannerisms with his expressions. But when you get somebody that you've never heard of a country you've never know where it is, and they just start speaking something that makes somewhat sense with the current events, it fools you. At least it fooled me until he started saying something ridiculous. The AI was saying that something war with the other place, and then he said, "Well, send the nuclear missiles." And then he said, "Sir, your nuclear missiles are gone." Okay, then send the army. And then, "Sir, your army is gone." Okay, then send the firefighters. "Sir, your firefighters are gone." And he says, "What the fuck?" And when he's telling that joke, I'm like, okay, yeah, this is AI. But before that, when he was talking about, war against the other team, injustice, this, that sounded very real. And then he started with that joke. I'm like, okay, yeah, this is fake. So AI already got to that point where it is hard to know when somebody did it or not did it. Especially the Joe Rogan commercials, they're getting really good. They take his voice and even his body, like half his body, and they animate it. And he's trying to sell you health products, vitamin supplements. And it looks like, I know as a fact, because when he does commercials, he does them in his podcast. I don't, I'm like 80% sure that he doesn't do them on a green screen, let's say. And he doesn't do them off the Spotify because he has a deal with Spotify that it's only works with them. So because of this reason, I know that his commercials are fake, and only because of that reason. But when I see those videos, sometimes I even doubt it. Sometimes I think, oh, maybe he actually did a commercial because his mannerism is really good, his tone is really good, everything is really, really good. That if I didn't know Joe Rogan that well, he would, I would probably believe that that was him doing that. So yeah, this is getting tough. And then the US passed that new law where you cannot mess with AI for at least 10 years. That's going to get even weirder. I don't think that's going to be followed at all. It's just like if everybody just discovered the car all of a sudden and then they put a law, we're not going to have any requirements or restrictions regarding cars and speed limits or anything car related for 10 years. I don't think companies would even follow that. I'm pretty sure people themselves will get into car crashes, speeding like mad, complaining, and they'll say, "Okay, you don't want to fix it for it. I'm not gonna buy your product anymore." Or they start slandering Ford and do a protest in front of the company. And even if it's legal, Ford eventually will be like, "You know what? All right. Let me calm these people down because I feel like they're gonna start breaking my windows for pretty soon. Let me make a little small change in the car. Let me put some speed limits in this road at least because they keep complaining about that one road. Let me come up with something." So yeah, even if it wasn't part of the deal, according to the law, he will still make changes. So believing the same thing is gonna happen with AI. It's just gonna happen. It doesn't matter what. Yeah, there's no law regarding that you like you maybe the government would not interfere. Maybe that's what is going on. But the private companies themselves will interfere on themselves, I think. Just because the way it is. Everything is fake now. It's so hard to tell. If someone makes a video of you that they don't know you, they'll believe it. If you show me an AI video of some stranger, or I think even if it's a stranger, it's easier to spot it as AI because you're automatically on the edge trying to figure out if it's fake or real. But if it's somebody that you've known for a few minutes and then you see a video about them, maybe that's harder because you don't know them so well, so you give them the benefit of the doubt. Again, now, this is an idea that occurred to me that it's 1000% not new, even though I have not heard it yet. I am 1 billion% that companies have already thought about this idea, and that is restricting the use of copyright stuff. For example, there's so many fun videos circulating the Facebook and Instagram where there is a stormtrooper, actually two stormtroopers, just sharing their story, sharing blah 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 blah. I don't know, the spaceship fell or this and that. Um, yeah, and then they use Darth Vader and they use some other characters, and it's very fun. But I'm 1 billion trillion% sure that Disney is already fumigating through the years. How can somebody use their copyrighted material and make their own movies with it? Because they paid $1 trillion for it, right? So that's one. What's to stop anybody from making Disney movies now using AI or making alternate endings to the Disney movies or making it into corn, which definitely is happening somewhere in the black web. It's gotta be dark web. I mean, that's one. Companies are gonna start coming up with their own. If the government is not, companies will start suing people anyways for copyright infringement, and they'll get it for something else. It doesn't have to be for the one thing that you think it's gonna be. It's not gonna be because they used AI. It's probably gonna be because they used, I don't know, the music of Disney, or you refer to them in some artistic sense. They're gonna find some loophole. So even I don't care that. I don't think it's gonna stop. I don't know if that's the word, but when they said that AI is going to start being controlled, so they put a law that you cannot put laws on it, restrictions on it for 10 years. I don't think the people themselves will stop themselves from making their own restrictions. They will. Companies will start making their own restrictions. Disney will reach out to ChatGPT and be like, if you don't stop creating Disney's copyrighted stuff, I'm gonna stop funding you or whatever. Right, I'm gonna take you out of my Disney theme park. And of course, ChatGPT could be like, no, I don't care. You can stop using me. Or actually, let's say that they say yes, okay, I won't use your copyright material. Well, that's just ChatGPT. There's like 10 other ones that will use Disney copyright material. And then there's China, who will gladly share their DeepSeek. And maybe that's where Chat could be like, you know what? I don't care because if I stop, they will do it and they will take my job. So that's one scenario of how it could go. Or they make an alliance, Disney and Chat, and then they use AI to fight AI. You never saw that coming, right? Robots against robots. Now, there will be an AI filter that will filter through the internet or through the web and automatically start giving suing cease and desists to to other places. Automatically suing using AI, surfing the web, finding similar products, copyright material. And then the courts of the American country will be so full of this random AI suing that now there will be something such as AI court, where now the judge is AI and absolutely everything is AI. And so your suing goes through there. It'll start with the minimal ones, probably with things that don't, to filter out things. But eventually it'll move to what judges do now. Eventually it'll just be AI judging AI and then AI judging people. That's going to happen eventually. And I'm 100% this is happening already. Judges are already feeding AI with their with all the data they have of one case and being like, is there something? How many years should I give this person on a sentence? Which law did they break? This lawyer said that. How can I counter it? And I bet lawyers are doing literally the same. My judge is using AI to read this. What thing do you think he's not finding out? Where can I get him? What's the loophole? This is how I'm going to defend my person. These are the documents the attacker sent. So find a counterattack against this. Which law and which book in which stipulation was this made? So yeah, they will be finding a way. That's my very humble, free opinion. And no matter what, they're gonna find a way. Where there's a way, there's a will, and where there's a will, there's a tombstone. Because they made the will, so now they're getting ready for a tombstone. You know what I mean? Should I keep explaining these jokes to you, or does that kill the funny? I think that kills the funny. But I also don't want my jokes to circulate 30 years later, being like, oh, that was a joke. This is why. Like those Neil Treason movies, that gray haired guy that goes to, like, it's in an airplane and then he says, nurse, we got to take this man to the hospital. And then she goes, what is it? And he goes, oh, it's a place where it was a bunch of doctors and nurses, but that's not important right now. We must land this plane. You know, I'm going to explain that joke. She meant, what is it, as in what's going on with a person that needs to go to the hospital. Then I explained it so you don't have to come back 30 years to my podcast to find out the funny. Okay, because I'm all about saving time to my listener, which I've been pondering on the AI topic. I have the option to leave the natural space between my voice and the next word, or I have the option to make AI cut my words, my space, so that I speak faster. And I've been thinking about that. I've been trying it out. I've made some episodes where my voice is not cut off and then I've made some episodes where it has. And honestly, I like both. And I do like the ones where it cuts the space because not always do I have something smart to say, not so fast. And it's kind of nice. I like it. I like when it cuts my space because it also saves you from wasting your time. And so that's where I'm at. Should I leave it as is because it's natural and this is how people speak, and maybe you're interested in someone speaking naturally? Also, Joe Rogan would say that that's the best one that there is, but he talks about the best one there is in talking from person to person, like one to one, with two people in the podcast, because that's how two people speak. So that's a point. But then there's the other one where I don't really think I have too much to say. Some ideas are fun, but then a lot of them are not. And so I don't think it's worth the wait between spaces. That's one point. Another point is that I don't always come up with ideas that fast. Sometimes I just start thinking while driving, or it takes me a while, and I don't want to fill the space with nonsense just so I could, create again that space. Like you see how I just repeated that word because I'm doing it right now. I'm trying to fill the emptiness instead of leaving you with empty. Because if I leave you with empty, you're gonna go away. Because I do go away when I'm left with empty on certain videos. My neurons are so fried with fast interactions that I just wanna skip the video and go to something more stimulating. And in order to get something more stimulating, I need to eliminate the space between my words, and I need to eliminate words that are just fillers. See, so now I left the space there. Did you like that? I don't know. Well, I'm almost at work. So let's continue with the AI. Anyways, I'm left with this. I don't know what to do. I've tried both. I like both. I'm gonna say I like the AI better in some cases when it eliminates the space, and I like the natural voice in other cases because it's relaxing. It is relaxing to have some space in it. When there's no space between words, it feels as if there's too much going on. And then I start daydreaming and I miss a bunch of what was said because I started daydreaming. You see how this happens? It just happens, my man. It just happens. It just does. It just does. So yeah, we got those two. I'm gonna leave it as natural for now. I'll figure it out later. But yeah, AI, it's already making me question my artistic style. Should I use it, or should I abuse it? Which or what? I don't know. In YouTube, sometimes people just speed up videos because they're speaking too slow. But that's personal. It's like putting salt in your food. What do you prefer? Some people like it a little salty. Some people like it without any salt whatsoever. Some people like the natural voice, and some like to speed up stuff because they're anxious, I guess. Would that be the word? I did some of that Apple Watch questionnaire about depression and anxiety, and I'm happy to say that I'm out of depression. Ooh! Ah, it was nice answering all those questions. I'm out of depression. And you know why I'm out of depression? Because I have no time to be depressed. I literally do not. My depression was exchanged to anxiety now. I I did the other test for anxiety, which is by the way, big grain of salt in here. It was 7 questions that Apple just asks you. 7 questions. Like, come on, that's not a scientific. I don't think a psychologist would just ask you 7 questions and diagnose the anxiety already, right? So take it with a big old mountain of salt in how accurate these questionnaires are. But for the anxiety questionnaire, I scored everything high. 7 questions, and I put all of them like the maximum score you can give because I'm anxious. I'm anxious. And there's a couple things that make me anxious, quite a lot, but most of them are at work. The fast pace of work. Everything is an emergency. And I've been reading a couple things about everything is an emergency. If everything is, then nothing is. That's just the natural way of order. That's just how it works. And so if everything is an emergency, then that's just the standard. Therefore, not an emergency. Ta-da! But also, if everything at work is an emergency, you gotta look into that. Why? What's going on in there, huh? What's going on? Anyway, so I did those two, and I'm so happy to say I no longer have the press, but now I have the angst. I do have the angst, you know. I'm gonna start gooning in the whip now and get off my schedules. I'm no longer with the hips. I'm no longer young. I don't know what the youngsters say no more. I'll only learn when I get into when my son starts growing up as a teenager. That's when I'll learn the new language. But for now, it's all Google Gaga. And it's not even Google Gaga. They lied to me. Babies don't say that. They say "Krrr," and "Aha, waha, ora." That's what they say. They say That's what baby says. There's no Google Gaga in there. They just go "Ah." That's baby, but like way higher pitch. Sounds super cute. It's like a bird. So why were we lying about baby noises? What's the big baby? You know how they say big pharma? I said big baby. Yeah, they lied to us. Big baby lied to us. Conspiracy theories. So why do conspiracy theories turn out to be so real after a while, huh? Like 90% of them. It's crazy how that's going on. We're in a different era. You know what's even crazier? How my wife gets completely different reels in Instagram than I do. Like, that is crazy. And we live in the same house, but completely different. That's crazy. So, like, she and I live in two big different worlds, like extremely large different worlds. And we live next to each other. So that's what I'm thinking. Like, what's up with all the other people that are farther from me? We also live in different worlds in social media. It's incredible. And then I bet kids and teenagers also live in a whole different world. Once in a while, those worlds unite in a meme. But it's like she gets makeup stuff, clothes stuff, and I get like war in Iran. And then I get politics, and I get comedians. And then I get anime Naruto. And over here she gets Beyonce. And I'm like, what? So in my reels, everything is crumbling to pieces, and in her reels is just like it's always been 2000. She's in the year 2000, and I'm over here in 2053, where AI takes over the world and makes us wash dishes because now they're creating our art. You know, that's what I mean. We live in two completely different worlds now. So, what about the other people that are much farther from me? Are they also living in different worlds? Is that also a thing? Oh, let's go. Woo. Okay, I'm just driving real good now. This streets in Austin are just engineered to create car crashes, by the way. By the way, they're just engineered that way. They just are. This one this one goes downhill and you gotta merge with people going downhill in in a street that everybody loves to go. It's supposed to be 55, but everybody goes 75 and 80 and 90. I'm just saying, it's engineered to cause car crashes. And you just gotta merge and pray that they slow down. Cool. So, I'm just looking around. We got some trees. We got some trucks. I'm arriving at work. Uh, and that's it. That's the episode. Two cool ideas, right? back to work. Oh, and I gotta find ways to stop the anxiety, by the way. That's my challenge now. How do I stop the anxiety? That is a real big deal challenge. Okay. All right. See you later.